All right, hey there everyone. This video lesson is going to talk primarily about the option Greek delta. All right, so without any more delay, let's dig in because delta is something that can be either very easy to understand or very complicated. There are several ways the term delta is used to understand option positions or option prices, and yet it's very simple in its construct. So if you just think of delta, let's just type right in here into Google, delta option trading, and you will see, so much information here about option delta, neutral delta, flat delta. Delta is simply put as how you can quickly ascertain what kind of impact price movement is going to have on your position, okay? And when I use the term position, that can be one trade, it can be one option leg, it can be a call, it can be a put, it can be multiple legs, it can be multiple trades, but quickly, the quickest way to determine how a change in price is by looking at what is the delta, okay? So it says right here in big bold letters, delta is not the probability that the option will expire in the money, all right? Delta is simply put the theoretical value of how much the option will change if the underlying stock moves up or down $1. All right, that's it. Period. Simply stated. End of story. So you will see right off the bat, call delta is always going to be a positive number. Put delta is always going to be a negative number. So remember, if we were trading call options, if we are long a call option, we want the market to go up, right? So if we analyze buying a single option call, a call option, it doesn't matter if it's at the money, if it's way out of the money, right? If it's way out of the money, if it's way far in the money. Let me just do this right here. We will go, these three trades are all very similar in setup. You have got a call option that's super far out of the money, delta is positive. If the market rises, you will make theoretical value. Remember what it said right here. Simply, delta is a number that measures how much the theoretical value of an option will change if the underlying stock moves up or down $1. Now, theoretical value just means that this is the platform's best ability to calculate what that option is going to be valued at for a movement in price, right? The true value is when you buy and sell it. So the theoretical value just means if the SPX moves up, you are going to make theoretically $16.29 for every 1 point increase in the SPX. So right off the bat, you should be able to start understanding and recognize that a positive delta means you want the market to go up. A negative delta means you want the market to go down. A delta of 0 means you don't care where the market goes. So right off the bat, first and foremost, you absolutely have got to accept and understand that delta refers to price. Maybe I used my little silly marker before. Maybe we'll just say the delta x direction. All right, let's just refer to that. So that is our directional opinion. So you've got a way far out of the money call option, $6.30. Delta is positive. For every 1 point move in the SPX, you're going to make about $16. If you go right at the money, which is 2085, SPX is currently at 2081, you will see you are still delta positive, but your delta, your absolute delta number, and this is dollar for dollar, $46 is the same as, it's not addition or some relational value. This is absolute. This is an absolute value. $16 means you will not make as much buying an out of the money call option as you will buying an at the money call option. You'll see right away for a $1 point move in the SPX, you will make $46 as opposed to $16. Okay, so right off the bat, you'll notice that you get more bang for your buck on a price movement by coming at the money from a positive delta perspective. And then lastly, if we go deep in the money, you'll see that gives you the most delta of them all, right? It's also the most expensive. It also has the most theta impact to it. And so you will see that, actually, you know what, scratch that, because the right at the money has the most theta impact, because that's where the most activity is trading at. So if you go deep in the money, you'll see you have the greatest delta, plus 85.97, and I described and I showed an example in one of the video lessons about how option traders use these deep in the money options as synthetic stock or stock surrogates. And the deeper in the money you go, you could go deep all the way in here to say you went to 1750, right? I mean, you are getting very, very close to a delta of 100, and a delta of 100, I'm going to have to show you this in an equity. A delta of 100 is what, if you're buying stock, that's what your delta is. Delta is always going to be one, plus or minus, depending if you're long or short stock. So if you're long stock, your delta is always going to be a positive number of 100, and your negative delta of 100 is if you are short the stock. If I got rid of that and if I sold it, you'll see I have a negative 100. And that just means that my profit is dollar for dollar on price movement, on direction. Okay, so I think that is absolutely mandatory to get your brain wrapped around, because in the very beginning, if you're not being able to process and understand delta and how that impacts your other positions, it's going to be difficult to know what changes you need to make to delta, all right, to create a trade that's successful. So you'll see right here, it just goes on to explain, you know, delta of call range from 0 to 1. It can never be greater, right? The delta of a put can range from 0 to negative 1. And that just, all that means, that's like I was showing you, 0 to 100 is what this means. So if you'll notice that it has to equal plus or minus 1 for net delta. If I came into the platform, and you'll see delta is one of my columns, it's plus 1 on the call side. It's negative 1 on the put side. That's the farthest, you know, in the money options that they have. And if you come right at the money, this delta is plus 49. This delta will be minus 51. It says it's minus 50, but the sum total of these on the call side and the put side will always be between 0 and 1, right? It absolutely will have to equal that value. So as you'll see this one right here saying at the same strike price, this delta has a plus 0.39. Pardon me. This has a negative 0.61. So you'll see that the two of those, right, they add up to anywhere from 0 to 1. Now, that gets a little bit confusing because, well, if I add plus 0.39 to minus 0.61, that doesn't give me 100, but you'll notice that if you take this minus sign away from it, obviously 0.61 and 0.39 is 1.0. That's all this refers to when it says the delta of a call can range from 0 to 1. The delta of a put can range from 0 to negative 1. What I want, the takeaway point for this right here is delta means price. And when you are starting to understand how important that is, then you can see if I am wanting to get really super long delta, or if I really want to make a directional trade and I really am convinced, and my bias is to the long side, well then I absolutely have to make sure that I have a positive delta position. And it doesn't matter how I've created that, whether it's singles, whether it's aggregate legs, whether it's, whatever, cross months, cross strikes, doesn't matter. If you have a directional opinion, then delta is what you are absolutely going to look at. And just know that as the options get closer and closer to expiration, what I'm going to do is just show you a right at the money call option for April, all right? See what my delta is. Well, let me just change this to May, all right? Let me just change that to June. You'll notice delta does not change much. What changes all these other factors. Let's just say September, or let's just say December. Oh, it's not letting me change that inside here. Let's uncheck this, go to this, and let's just go to December. 277 days away. Oh, you know why? Because 2085 is not going to be traded, that's why. So let's go 2075. I mean, it's very, very close. So it doesn't, the farther out in time you go, that delta is less and less influential as you get closer and closer to expiration. However, look at how much more important this delta becomes. So if I came right at the money here, 3 days to expire, well now my delta is getting less because I'm coming closer to expiration. And the reason that is, the absolute reason that is because when these options expire, the delta is going to end up being 0 or 100, okay? It can't be anywhere in between. It is going to be 0 or 100. So that knowledge will tell you that the farther out of the money you go, the higher likelihood it will be coming in at 100. The farther in the money you go, the higher likelihood it will be coming in at 0. All right? So just know that this means price. This is direction. Delta absolutely affects your trade opinions. And if you are positive delta, you want the market to go up. If you are negative delta, you want the market to go down. And we will absolutely be spending much more time talking about the Greeks, but first and foremost, you got to understand that delta is all about price. Okay, so thanks much, and we will have Gamma coming next. Bye-bye.